Okay, I think I'm back. Unfortunately, it looked like the other live stream got destroyed. Something there was some kind of problem there with the stream health. But we are good now, I think. Okay, we'll see if anyone pops in. Hello, one person who popped in. Thank you for popping in. Sorry about that before. I have no idea what was happening with the streaming technology, but it looks like things are stable now. It looks like I have an excellent connection now. So let's continue with taking a look at this server. So as I said before, I think that the reason for this 404 here is actually on me. So let me go to my settings in Firefox and just change a few things so that we can look at this properly. So I'm not showing my settings right now just for privacy reasons. But if I do this, there we go, and I reload here, then we should be able to get the server that's currently running. It's loading up. Oh, this waiting for unpackage.org, that's not actually this server. This is the data browser, because the data browser has a very large download that it needs to do in order to work. But we are... But that's going to work. Yes, perfect. Okay, so also feel free to enter anything in the chat if you're thinking of something, if you want to have something to explore. So this server is running the SolidOS data browser right now, but it is seemingly configurable to run any kind of data browser there is. We can see that it has successfully fetched things from my current web ID. But the question is, we have a storage server here that I own. So does everything work? Let's start with creating a folder. Let's also open up the inspector just so that I can see the network requests that it's making and how well it does. Cool folder. Okay, it's asking me to log in, so I will log in to Solid Web, which is the identity that I had. Specifically, oh no, not that Solid Web. I want to log in to specifically solidweb.me. Let's be sure that it works with CSS, shall we? Okay. So now that we're in here and logged in, now let's create a folder. Cool container, or a container as it would be called in Solid. Okay, looks like the put request works fine. For those of you who aren't familiar, the way that the data browser creates containers is it creates a dummy element and then it deletes that dummy element. This is not the only way to create containers in Solid. There are other ways to create containers. This is just what the data browser does, but it looks like the Mana server is able to handle this well. Now comes the question. Let's go for a little bit more of a challenge. Let's create an RDF document. Index.ttl. Cool. Nice. So we can, of course, edit this RDF document and say, I don't know, let's go to, we can just put some stuff in here. And of course the data browser is going to defend against non-valid turtle. Let's just get the Spider-Man example and copy that. Turtle RDF spec. the RDF spec has a little example turtle up here. There we go. So we'll just copy this in here. And we can see that a put request to index.ttl was successful. Cool. Let's see this in a different app. Let's go to Pod Pro. Oh, wait, actually I can't do Pod Pro because Pod Pro can't do queries of localhost because I'm here on localhost. Okay, that's fine. Let's do, last time we were here, we did a little review of the sample app that was built for LDO. Let's play around with that. Let's see how well that works with this server. Let's see. Where do I have that? Where's that code? I've got it up right here. Okay. npm run web. npm run demo React. That's the one. So we're going to use this little demo React application. It will run on, it will also run on localhost 3000. Let me change the port for this, yeah. Package JSON for demo React. React start. How do you change the port in Krakow? Is that here? Or is it easier just to change the port for Manas? Config.toml root URI. Yeah, it might be easier to change the port for Manas. 3001, let's restart Manas. Go to, and now everything will be at port 3001. Okay, so if I come back to port 3001, not authorized. Okay, that makes sense. Though, why wouldn't it give me a login screen? Why would it tell me not authorized? Let's see. Port 3001 is... Well, let me just clear my local storage for this again. Apparently that's not the problem. So we are talking to Manas right now, having changed the port. Does an incognito tab work? Nope, not authorized. Oh, you know what it is? It's because this was originally configured under port 3000, and the ACLs are probably, yep, there we go. The ACLs are looking specifically for requests to access port 3000. But I want to change that to port 3001, and now the ACL is properly updated. So now, if I reload this, it should be fine. Awesome. Okay, we're good now. Okay, so now if we go to localhost 3000, was I not running the application, my demo application? No, it failed. I'm going to see eventually, does this server have access control, like login and identity provider that comes with it? It's totally fine if it doesn't, but if it does, if it does, that would be awesome. But we could always deploy the CSS identity provider on it as well. let's see. So right now this is going into my folder on solidweb.me. But what I want to do is I want to be logged in as myself on solidweb.me, but look at a folder on my root item. And so I'll just go into this code right here. This code says we're going to get a root container on this. However, instead of using the root container, I'm going to temporarily say that we are going to do, let's see, specifically HTTPS : or HTTP localhost : 3001 / demo react. And this will make it so that this application will now be pointing at a new folder, preferably the root folder for this document. Okay, so failed with a 500 internal error for what? What request did it fail with? Okay, it's loading, and then it failed to get demo react. So this should be a 404, not a 500 internal error. So it looks like there might be a little bit of problems with it error handling. Let's see the error that it says specifically. Status token input unknown IO error querying alt context object metadata. So yeah, it looks like there might be some problems with trying to fetch files that don't exist, which is what this application does. It checks to see if the file exists. The demo react folder, obviously, as we can see in here, in the data here, there is no demo react folder. There is a cool container. That's pretty nice. But there is no 404. So perhaps something that can be fixed. Maybe I will add maybe I'll add a issue for that. That might be a productive thing to do. Let me just get a curl on it. So I'll get up Postman and do a curl to a file that doesn't exist. And also thanks to all the people who have come in. So far, 5 people have viewed this stream. That's awesome. Hopefully we don't encounter that stream hitch in the future, because that's not great, because I sent out a link to this stream. But people who have that link won't be seeing this. Okay, so let's go and we'll do localhost 3001 / does not exist. This gives me a status 404. Interesting. Why isn't this giving me a status 404 then? Let's take a look at this. Localhost 3001 / demo react. Is it something about being authenticated? Because, so if anyone's familiar with the solid standard, you have it returns a 404 if you don't have access to the resource. Though, in this case, it maybe should return a 401 because I'm not authenticated. I have no headers in here for authentication. Interesting. So this is a get to strict origin, credentials true. And just to confirm that it's not my hard coding, That's the problem. Let's see if localhost let's see if I just go to like solidweb.me /Jackson3 demo React does not exist. So this should do. So if I go here and then, yeah, it seems to be fine. So demo React does not exist. I do a get on demo React does not exist. And that returns a 200. Why does it return a 200? This shouldn't exist. Did I do something up here? Demo React does not exist. Options. Get. Oh, did it run multiple times? Let's see. Demo React, and then demo React does not exist. Okay, so here we did a GET request. We got a 404, and then at some point this application should create demo React does not exist, if I'm right. Token, yes, profile, options, get demo React does not exist is at 200. Odd. Yeah, at some point this should have created a demo React does not exist, but that's not an evaluation of the Manas server. It's an evaluation of this application. Okay, so if I go back and redo this to the Manas server, I think is the Manas server offline? Did it error and then, because we're not getting, okay, we're doing our authentication and then we do that and we're not getting any responses from the Manas server. Let's go ahead and restart it. Okay, and now, no. Did I just run it too quickly? No. Okay, we're not getting any responses from the Manas server for some reason. Why am I not getting any responses in the React app from the Manas server? Response is not available. Cores failed. Cores failed. That's interesting. Why wasn't Cores failing the entire time? Odd. Manas server get base resource doesn't exist. Okay, that makes sense. Did I type this in incorrectly? HTTPS. There we go. That's what it is. I'm not running this on an HTTPS server. Okay. So now, yes, we are consistently getting a 500 when a file doesn't exist. So I'm going to manually create this file. So that we can continue. But first, let me go ahead and get this request as a curl. I forget, how do you do this in Firefox? How do you get... Huh. How do you get a request as a curl? Yeah. Monitor. Oh, so I just right click on the request. As curl. And we will submit this as an error here. Unless someone has already submitted. Dynamic prod. CICD, CICD. Okay. Okay. We will create an issue here. When sending a request to a container that doesn't exist, the server gives a 500 error, and we will include the specific error that it gives, as well as information about the curl. Yeah, I'll get rid of this for now. I'm not super concerned about leaking these Depop tokens because they're going to expire soon, and also that specific account that I have is just for testing reasons, so I don't care about it a ton. So header authorization Depop EY blah 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 blah, and then Depop is EY blah 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 blah. This request results in the 500 error. And then the error that we get is this. Unknown IO error, resolving resource, unexpected stat context. Here. Awesome. Okay, so let's continue going down this route of trying to get this app to work. But because that gives a 500 error, we're going to have to manually create a folder just in here. New folder. Welcome in, welcome in. New folder, demo React. Oh, I've already created the demo React folder. Oh, I made it as a resource. Okay. So now that I've created the demo React folder, let's see if this works. Okay, so we did a proper get of the demo React folder. Now let's see if we can do an upload. Hello, this is a post. And we'll even upload a photo and post. Okay, we are also getting 500s here. Right, that's right, because this application will delete a file that doesn't exist, and then it will also try to get the file that doesn't exist just to check to see if it's there. Okay, so there's a lot that... So this 500 request for files that don't exist does make it a little bit hard to test to see if I can upload something. But let's just try and upload on the data browser then. So I've got cool container. Nice. Let's do a refresh. Am I logged in to the data browser or did it log me out? Okay, we have demo React, we have cool container. I am logged out. So let's log in again. And feel free to share anything in chat, or like anything that you would want to see explored on this server. Cool. We have cool container. Index.ttl is in cool container. So we've established that creating a file seems good. Salim, I am not able to read that language, but I will use Google Translate just so that I can see. From Turkish. When we hit like this. Captains hit very badly. Captains are batsmen. Let's change a position. I'm coming my reins. I don't think that pertains to this server here, but thank you for coming in and chatting. Okay, so it did properly create a container in the demo React folder. It just had a problem with fetching things that didn't exist. So let's go ahead and... How did the data browser upload work? Was it... Do I just have to drag and drop a file? Was that what it was? In which case, let's open up Finder. Cool. We've got Finder, and we'll just put in this file here. So we will upload this to demo React. Yes, I do want to drop that file here. Nope, that's not... I really thought that you could drag and drop in the data browser. Maybe that doesn't work. Oh, that's right, you gotta drag over the plus button. Yes, I am sure I want to drop it here. Okay, so upload does work on this. The only problem with doing that on this app is that it will 500 because this app looks to see if the file exists before there's an upload. Okay, that's cool. But as long as that 500 is working, as long as that 500 is worked through, then this might be a decent option. What else can we do? So we can read files, we can do everything. We can check to see if there's any kind of auth stuff. Because I thought there was. Space, storage, URI, layers, repo, Podverse, HTTP, authentication. Now the question is, by authentication, does that just mean like authenticating Depop tokens, and it's not the actual pod provider? If that's the case, which I think it is, then I think that's still fine. You could always deploy a CSS identity provider, or use any kind of identity provider. So Mana specifically is just a server that lets you do the access control part of authentication. Sorry, the access control and authentication on the resource side, not on the actual login side. Now comes the question, are there ways to configure this so that you can have multiple pods? And is there a pod creation system? Because that's not currently in the solid spec. It would be cool if it were. Yeah. Cool. So I think that I might end it here. The conclusion is Manas is a functional solid server. It is a little bit rough around the edges and doesn't contain the same number of features that something like CSS has. However, it's a pretty good start, and I'd love to see it continue and have more features. So with that, I'll end it here. Thanks for those who tuned in or those who are watching afterwards. And next time, we'll be doing something else. All right, see you all.